Do you ever feel like your brain is just stuck? Like you're constantly overwhelmed by stress and negative thoughts, and no matter what you try, you can't snap out of it? What if I told you there's a way to reset your mind, to clear that mental clutter and get your focus back? Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest samurai in history, found a way to do exactly that. In this video, I'm going to show you how Musashi reset his brain and how you can use his methods to finally break free from those negative patterns. Part 1. Clearing mental clutter. Musashi was all about simplicity. He didn't just apply this to his physical surroundings, but to his entire approach to life. He cut out anything that didn't serve him, whether that was unnecessary possessions or distractions that clouded his focus. For Musashi, clarity came from removing the clutter, both physically and mentally, so he could focus on what truly mattered. Think about it. When your space is cluttered, your mind feels cluttered too. It's hard to focus when you're surrounded by distractions. The same goes for mental clutter. Constant notifications, endless to-do lists, or overthinking can bog down your brain and make it nearly impossible to reset. Here's where you can start. Take a moment to declutter your environment. Look around. What are you holding on to that's just adding noise? Simplify your space. Get rid of distractions. Maybe it's a digital detox. Put your phone on silent for a bit. Turn off unnecessary notifications. It's about creating room for mental clarity. Musashi understood that before you can reset your mind, you have to clear away what's clouding it. His life of simplicity allowed him to focus on what really mattered, and it can do the same for you. Whether it's cleaning up your workspace or stepping away from digital distractions, clearing out the clutter is the first step toward resetting your brain and getting back control. Part 2. Practicing mindful focus. Musashi was a master of mindfulness, both in battle and in life. When he was in combat, he didn't let his mind wander. He didn't worry about what had just happened or what was coming next. He stayed completely in the moment. This ability to be fully present was what allowed him to stay sharp, clear-headed, and to reset his mind whenever things became chaotic. He knew that the key to winning wasn't just in his sword skills, but in his ability to focus his mind on the present moment. Now, we may not be in sword fights every day, but the same principle applies to us. How often do we let our minds get overwhelmed by thinking about what went wrong yesterday or worrying about what could happen tomorrow? When our brain is scattered like that, it's almost impossible to reset. That's why practicing mindful focus, bringing ourselves back to the present moment, is so important. Here's a simple way to start practicing this. The next time your mind feels overloaded, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's happening right now? Focus on your surroundings, what you're doing in that exact moment. If you're working on something, just focus on that task. If you're walking, feel the ground beneath your feet. Being mindful is about training your brain to stop spiraling into past regrets or future anxieties and bringing it back to the present. Musashi used this practice of being fully present to reset his mind when things got intense. It kept him grounded and focused, even when everything around him was chaotic. The more you practice this kind of mindfulness, the easier it becomes to break out of mental exhaustion. You don't need to be perfect at it. Just keep practicing, and you'll find it easier to reset your mind and regain your focus whenever you need it. Part 3. Embracing solitude for reflection. Musashi understood the value of solitude like few others. When life became too noisy, he didn't seek distractions. He sought isolation. He would retreat to quiet, isolated places to reflect, to reset his mind, and to sharpen his thoughts. It was in these moments of solitude that he found clarity and peace, away from the chaos of battle and the pressures of daily life. For Musashi, solitude wasn't about being alone. It was about giving his mind the space to breathe. In our modern world, we often do the opposite. When things get overwhelming, we turn to distractions, social media, endless scrolling, or constant noise. But Musashi knew that true clarity comes from stepping away from all of that, even for just a little while. If you're feeling mentally stuck or exhausted, the best thing you can do for your mind is to give it some space. Now, solitude doesn't mean isolating yourself completely. It's about creating pockets of quiet where you can be alone with your thoughts. Maybe it's going for a walk without your phone, journaling at the end of the day, or sitting quietly with a cup of coffee. It's about giving yourself a break from the constant input and letting your mind wander freely without distractions. Musashi found that these moments of solitude helped him reset his mind and gain perspective. When you step away from the noise, you start to see things more clearly. You get to reflect on what's really important, and you give your brain the chance to process everything that's been swirling around. It's in these moments that deeper insights and clarity often emerge. The key is to make solitude a regular practice, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. When you give your mind space to breathe, just like Musashi did, you'll find it's easier to reset, regain focus, and approach life with a clearer perspective. Sometimes, the quietest moments are the ones that give you the most strength. Part 4. Conquering mental battles through discipline. Musashi's life was defined by relentless discipline. He understood that if he didn't have control over his mind and emotions, he'd be lost in the chaos of battle. His ability to keep his thoughts sharp, focused, and under control was what allowed him to succeed, time and time again. For Musashi, discipline wasn't just about physical training. It was about mastering his mind, making sure he could reset and refocus, no matter the situation. That's where mental discipline comes in for us. Resetting your brain isn't a one-time thing. It's something that needs to be practiced consistently, just like Musashi's training. If you want to clear your mind and keep it sharp, you need to develop mental discipline. This could be through a consistent routine that helps reinforce clarity and focus. For example, regular physical exercise isn't just for your body. It helps clear mental clutter and boost your brain's resilience. Another key component is mindfulness practice, whether it's a few minutes of meditation or simply focusing on your breathing during stressful moments. These small habits can make a big difference in helping you reset your brain regularly. You can also add goal setting to your routine. When you set clear goals and stick to them, you train your mind to stay on track. Whether those goals are about your work, health, or personal growth, having that daily structure helps you avoid getting lost in distractions. The important thing to remember is that discipline isn't just about grinding through the day, it's about having a consistent routine that keeps your mind focused and sharp. Musashi didn't master his thoughts overnight, and neither will you. But over time, as you build daily habits that strengthen your mind, you'll find that resetting your brain becomes easier and more natural. The process is gradual. It's about showing up every day, sticking to your routine, and understanding that the more disciplined you become, the easier it is to maintain mental clarity, just like Musashi did. Part 5. Mastering the present moment. Musashi had an incredible ability to block out everything else and focus entirely on the present moment. Whether he was in battle or in training, he wasn't thinking about past mistakes or worrying about future outcomes. He was fully immersed in whatever task was in front of him. This mastery of the present moment is what allowed him to reset his mind whenever the chaos of life threatened to overwhelm him. Musashi knew that if he lost focus, even for a second, everything could fall apart. For us, mastering the present moment can be just as powerful. When your mind is scattered, thinking about too many things at once, worrying about what could go wrong, it's impossible to reset. But when you bring your attention back to the present, everything starts to feel clearer. You stop the mental chaos and allow your brain to focus on what really matters. Here's how you can practice this. Start with something simple like breath work. When you feel your mind racing, take a deep breath and focus on that breath, how it feels as it enters your body and as you exhale. You're training your brain to stop the distractions and come back to the present moment. You can also practice mindfulness exercises throughout the day, like being fully aware of what you're doing, whether it's working, walking, or eating. Even taking short breaks during your day to refocus can help. Step away from your tasks for a few minutes, breathe, and bring your attention back to the here and now. The more you practice being present, the easier it becomes to reset your mind no matter how overwhelming life feels. Take the first step now. Whether it's decluttering your space, practicing mindfulness, or setting aside some quiet time, start applying these techniques and watch how your mind begins to reset. And if you found this helpful, subscribe for more insights on how to use ancient wisdom like Musashi's to empower your modern life.